Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We're working on the Ford truck here, trying to get this thing ready to go. We got a lot of changes we got to make. So what we have here, we actually went ahead and went over to my brother's shop, picked up another block. This one's been sleeved, it's no good. So it's a junk block. Put the junk crank we had in there, put our balancer, the pulley, and also the lower blower pulley. So what we need to do now is we need to get this in the truck, put our motor plate on there with our power steering pump, and after we get that done, we'll be able to make the necessary changes, hopefully, to our motor mount plate. May have to just change it over from that lower style to a full upper style motor plate, and then start mocking up the dry sump pump. So let's go ahead and get that unloaded, get it in the truck, and get back to the work. Alright, so real quick, it's so nice outside. I mean, I got a sweater on, but still a beautiful day, 50, 60 degrees. And I just couldn't resist. Open up the other garage door in the shop, and the Mustang was in there. So I couldn't resist to at least take it out for a spin. So the next few clips, you'll see the daughter was recording, got the best I guess we could get. So there's a few clips there. If anybody's new to the channel, this is actually my 2015 Mustang GT. Obviously a Coyote Gen 2. And it's got a Whipple on it, so it makes over 600 horse. And you can check out, I'll put a link in the description of the other video talking about everything on there. But it's got the 6-speed in it. So here's a few clips of that, and then we'll be back to the action. So I went ahead and got the motor installed with this original front motor plate that I was running. I did use the original motor mounts as well when I ran this. Just they were in there, so I just ran it in. But as you can see, the dry sump is going to mount off the 2 bolts there and go directly behind that. And we have absolutely no clearance. So I went over to my brother's and actually grabbed this front motor plate. Set that up there. So this will go up and over the motor instead of down and under. So we'll just need to cut this section out here. And I believe this side's going to come up far enough, but we may have to cut this one off and make a new one for the driver's side. But we don't know until we try. So I think at this point we need to go ahead and unbolt that one, bolt this plate up there, and see what we got. It's definitely a lot wider, so we may have to do some trimming, but this will take a little work. I'll get this done and we'll come back to you. So I gotta admit, I've actually been slacking quite a bit. This last weekend was the anniversary with my wife, and so I was doing house things. Didn't get much done in those last clips. We were on one path to get this dry sump mounted, and that took a whole 180 over the weekend. So I've overnighted some parts, and I'll show you now what we've got. So first things first, a new motor plate. We're gonna go with an upper motor plate now on this so we can bolt it around the water pump, and the driver's or passenger mount will work on the frame, but we need to redo this driver's one. I already cut it off, and this is just sitting in there, but I've ordered this mandrel so we can run the dry sump off the front of the blower. Also borrowing this from my brother right now, had this bracket made, and we're going to plan on mounting it right there off the frame. This will swing up to loosen and down to tighten, so we need to make sure that that is calculated correctly. And yeah, for anybody watching that knows anything about this, this is going to be an issue here. So trying to put a fitting on here, this is what pushes back to the tank, Not even sure where I'm going to mount the tank. I have a tank coming tomorrow, UPS 2-day, so that will be here. We can see what we're going to do with that. At least this gives me a general idea, because typically these would mount off of the 2 bolts up here. That's not an option. You cannot mount it reversely, meaning the opposite direction here to run off the crank, because I'd have plenty of room up here in the frame. Radiator's up high enough, but they do not run in reverse rotation. Some people have said that maybe you can send them to the manufacturer. I have absolutely no room on this side, and yeah, the alternator is mounted there, so that's what we're going with. So the only thing I could see being an issue is probably need to cut this down and slide it over. Obviously the rest of this plate here will be gone. I just need to get some fittings for the end here just to make sure how tight I can actually get to that frame rail. And yeah, worst case, we'll make a bracket. I mean, really we need a blower shield anyways, blower belt guard. So worst case, we'll make something between here. Power steering will still mount up here. I'll have to cut something out of here to make the power steering mount. And then this is actually from the tank and then to the oil filter, oil pressure to the engine. So that should take care of everything. These 3 lines here, it's going to be kind of messed up because these 3 lines here actually go to the passenger side of the oil pan. That should be here tomorrow or Wednesday as well. Just a whole lot of mess of things. So I know this is a quick short video, but I just want to get something out there for you guys. We're going to go ahead and set up some time lapse and actually get some stuff knocked out here. I'm going to have my dad come over and help me so we can get this dry sump actually mocked up correctly. Get everything aligned. It's hard to do with one person and then trying to hold it and tack it. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that. And get the rest of the stuff cut out of there. So let's go ahead, wrap the video there so you guys know where we're at. I don't mean to leave you hanging. We have a week and a half to go, if even that, because I got to load stuff up before then. But next Friday, we got to be leaving. So like we said last time, it's crunch time. I still have a motor that's in pieces. The rods are there. We got Oliver rods. So anybody that doesn't know, it had a Callie's crank, Oliver rods, JE pistons. I did order back Oliver rods and JE pistons. The compression will be slightly lower, but we got a deck block. We got to go through the heads. Got to bore all the cylinders out. It had one cylinder that was bigger than the rest of them for some odd reason, like we mentioned. So it's going to be like a 522 cubic inch motor when we're done. I got to pull the wiring harness out of this. I've got to get the computer out. Just a whole litany of things so we can dyno that motor. It's gonna push it, but somehow, some way, we'll make it. We'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. See ya.